Enron was an energy services company that had one of the most startling collapses in the history of business and sparked many changes in regulation that would change the American economy forever.
From 1985 to 1999, Enron blossomed as an interstate pipeline company and grew their business under CEO Kenneth Lay. In 1999, Enron moved into the business of trading commodities, and in 2000, the company became the 7th largest Fortune 500 company with over $100 billion in revenue. It was one of the world's largest and most powerful natural gas and energy providers in the world, as well as featuring many other revolutionary ideas. The stock price peaked at $90 per share on August 23, 2000. The company was so prosperous that Enron was able to buy the naming rights to the Houston Astros field.
By December 2, 2001, Enron's stock had crashed to 26 cents per share, and the company filed for bankruptcy. In order to begin to comprehend Enron's astronomical fall, we must first examine mark-to-market accounting. Jeff Skilling, the chief operating officer and later CEO of Enron, was a driving force behind the evolution and staggering growth of the company, and brought with him this innovative idea.
Under this strategy of accounting, a company marks down projected profits as soon as a transaction is made and without actually making any profit. Mark-to-market accounting allowed Enron to cook the books and inflate profits. Although the company was actually losing a lot of money, Enron was still reporting profits and driving up the stock price. In one case, Enron reported millions of dollars in profits on a power plant in India after its construction. However, because nobody was able to afford the power that it produced, the company never actually made a penny on it. Despite this, Enron left the projected profits on the books and gave the illusion of doing far better than they really were.
The next revolutionary idea that contributed to the massive decline was Enron Energy Services. The idea seemed highly innovative. Enron Energy Services was basically established as a trading floor for all sorts of energy commodities, like a stock exchange for energy. In practice, however, it was poorly managed and exacerbated financial issues. Executives Lou Pai and Tom White did not properly understand and implement sound business principles, and often entered into contracts that would cause net losses for the company.
In the end, Pai resigned from the company after various scandals involving his affairs with strippers. He liquidated his stock in the company and was able to escape with $270 million before there was any sign of the imminent collapse. Enron Energy Services reported profits while it was in fact losing large sums of money. While Enron used many unethical tactics to hide their debt and falsify profits, their use of special purpose entities, or SPEs, is possibly the most manipulative. Chief Financial Officer Andy Fastow was the primary orchestrator of this deceit. Under Fastow's direction, Enron formed these SPEs such as Jedi, Juco, White Wing, LJM-1, LJM-2, and Raptors to secure low-interest loans and hide the corporation's debt. In order to pull this off, Fastow had to pitch his idea to the board of directors, who granted him permission to breach the code of ethics.
The relationship between the SPs and Enron was fairly complicated. However, they were basically companies established with Enron stock as the asset backing and funding them. These small shell companies would then apply for loans, and because they were debt-free and had good credit, banks would be willing to give them loans with low interest. Because the companies were backed by Enron stock, when the stock value went down, the contract dictated that the SPs would pay Enron the value lost. While these transactions were booked as profits, Enron was essentially transferring its own money and netting substantial losses.
As Enron began to collapse, these debts hidden by SPEs were revealed to the American public, and Enron's true failures came into the light. Enron took advantage of the energy crisis in California, which was caused by shortages from drought, stock manipulation, and a delay in the development of new power plants. Enron caused these delays by controlling power plants and making them shut down for fake reasons, such as maintenance.
Las Vegas Cogen, this is Rich.
Hey Rich, this is Bill up at Enron.
Bill?
How you doing, man?
Junior or senior?
The third.
The third? What's happening, Bill the third?
Not much, man. I'm giving you a call. We've got some issues for tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you ready for some issues? You're just about all out there, aren't you?
I got a couple more hours. I ain't going anywhere. Alright, shoot. I've got pen and paper.
Alright, man. I'm not. This is going to be a word of mouth type thing.
Okay.
Tonight, when you finish your normal QF, so for our ending one, which will actually be tomorrow,
Right.
we want you guys to get a little creative
Okay.
and come up with a reason to go down.
Alright.
Anything you want to do over there? Any cleaning? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's some stuff that we could be doing tonight.
That's good.
Yeah, we need to come down and inspect the switch on the steam turbine. This one switch on this induction steam valve that's been failing us, and we need to be down in order to pull the switch and adjust it.
No shit.
Yeah,
I like that. I don't know. I'm guess around 11 for hour ending 11.
right.
You got to go back. We need you to go back down.
Okay, shut back down for hour ending 11.
Yeah.
So we'll do our normal afternoon shutdown tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay,
But we're not wanting to have it pre-scheduled.
right.
It's supposed to be, kind of one of those things.
Okay, so we're just coming down for some maintenance, like a forced outage type thing.
Right.
And that's cool?
Hopefully.
Because the schedule I just got over here, well, you know what it says.
Yep. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, it's the new schedule.
You just got a new one?
It says new schedule on the bottom. It's showing 52 all day.
Oh, right. And so that's the one you're going to want to ignore.
Exactly.
I knew I could count on you.
No problem. I'm sure I'll have a good time.
This contributed to more rolling blackouts and even less power, making the price of energy rise even higher. The price went from an average of $45 in 1999 to $1,400 in 2000. Loopholes from deregulation put them in a position to be able to do this.
In March 2001, Fortune magazine published Bethany McLean's story, Is Enron Overpriced?, that questioned Enron's profits and its cash flow structures. While she had no idea just how deep their scandal was, this article led to many analysts taking a closer look at Enron. After reading this article, Enron VP Sharon Watkins met with Ken Lay to question him and other executives regarding their accounting. When Lay and Skilling were both unable to provide a balance sheet or a cash flow explanation, suspicion in Enron's practices grew. In one famous conversation, Skilling called a reporter an asshole for questioning Enron's inability to produce proper accounting documentation.
Things began to unravel for Enron as their hidden debts in the Raptor SPE were exposed and Enron was forced to post a huge loss. Confidence in their honesty dwindled and the stock price plummeted. Enron was finally undone on November 28, 2001, as a merger with Dynegy, another energy giant, fell through after Dynegy pulled out of the deal. On December 2, 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy and closed the day with a stock value of 26 cents per share. Clearly, the Enron collapse was a major news story, and it was well documented in pop culture.
The menu for me is the Ride of Broken Dreams. Oh, you mean the Enron ride? Let's go.
We're all gonna be rich!
Broke even.
Enron had special 401k policies that required their employees to invest most or all of their retirement savings in Enron stock. As the value began to plummet, their investments were frozen, preventing the employees from selling their stocks.
Because of this, many innocent employees lost their life savings, their retirement funds, and their jobs.
Fastow was arrested and sentenced to 10 years in a low-security prison in Texas. He was let out after 6 years for good behavior and faced 2 more years of probation. Additionally, he forfeited $23.6 million of family assets. Now he speaks to college students about business ethics and the mistakes he made.
Skilling is still in prison today after he was arrested in 2001 and sentenced to 24 years in prison. However, his sentence was reduced to 14 years after an appeal where he agreed to stop fighting his conviction and give up millions to help those affected by Enron's collapse. Ken Lay died of a heart attack before he could be sentenced, so his charges were dropped. Despite this, many people were skeptical and believed that he faked his own death to avoid going to prison.
Other conspiracy theories include that Enron caused 9/11 as a cover-up to destroy evidence kept in the World Trade Center of an illegal gold scheme in India involving Enron under direct orders from George Bush, a friend of Ken Lay's, that would have incriminated them. It also happened only weeks after the heat on Enron intensified. Arthur Andersen, at the time one of the leading accounting firms in the world, was destroyed for its role in the scandal. The accounting firm famously shredded the majority of documents related to Enron's finance, destroying most of the evidence.
One of the most important results of the Enron debacle was the passing of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in 2002. Sarbanes-Oxley, more commonly known as SOX, was a revolutionary piece of legislation in business regulation. Also, SOX requires businesses to make reports on their internal control structure and their efficiency. Companies must also report any breaches in their code of ethics and explain why the breach was necessary. Also, Sarbanes-Oxley strengthened the regulatory power of the existing Securities and Exchange Commission.
All things considered, the Enron meltdown was a necessary learning step for the U.S. as it marked a turning point in business regulation, changing America forever.
Stand beside her.